Wow, stories.
My ex wanted to keep me on the side while married. So I exposed his lies and watched as his wife kicked him to the curb and he lost everything. Throwaway and apologies if this is too long, but some details are necessary. So here goes. I met a guy, Harry, around 3 years ago. We started dating and really liked each other. Around the 6-month mark, we started talking about marriage, but found out that we disagreed on some issues, like I preferred a monogamous marriage, he didn't, and broke up. He went away and we lost contact. About 4 months after this, Harry called me out of the blue and said he would like to meet. I asked him what it was about and he refused to say it on the call. When I met up with him, he seemed really upset, almost in tears. He mentioned that he had gotten married and his wife Sally is okay with being with a polygamous guy. I congratulated him on finding what he was looking for. He became even more upset. He added that he is not able to forget me and thinks of us as a couple all the time. I reminded him that I still find polygamous marriages complex, and my stance has not changed. I do not wish to be in one. He put his face in his hands and sat there without moving for some time. I would be lying if I said I didn't feel upset too seeing him like that. After some time, he spoke up and asked if I would be okay just being friends with him. He said that he cannot imagine a life without me. So if I would be only willing to be in his life this way, he would accept it too. He just didn't want to be completely cut off. He looked truly miserable. I agreed to being friends. Over these next 2 years, he kept in touch mostly by call, telling me stuff about his day, his job, his friends, etc. We met up just a few handful of times over coffee, in the presence of other friends, if he was close to my workplace, where he would discuss his life in general. The meetings never lasted very long. About a month ago, I received a message from Sally, his wife. She asked how I was doing. I answered, exchanged the usual niceties, and thought that was the end of the conversation. After the text, she proceeded to call me. I was at work, so couldn't answer. She then messaged me again and said to call her back. I told her that I was busy at that time and would get back to her. She then continued texting me. She said that she wants me to get married to Harry, as he seems unable to forget me. I informed her that we're just friends and I am not interested in a relationship with Harry. I would also not be talking to Harry henceforth. That didn't seem to change her position on the topic, and she kept insisting that it's the right thing to do for Harry. I messaged Harry asking what this was about. He said that for the past 2 weeks, his wife has been constantly asking about me, and has come to the conclusion that the only way forward in their marriage is if I was also in that marriage. Harry had mentioned me to her, which led to her inquiring further. While Harry didn't insist, he said he would be happy if I would consider this proposal again. He also said that he already knows that it will be a no from me, which is why he didn't bring it up with me. I have since not talked to any of them, but Sally continues to try to reach out to me, sending texts even when I don't reply. I am not sure why she's pushing for it even harder than Harry ever did. Her last text is a dinner invitation for all 3 of us. She also occasionally sends emotional messages about how this is all affecting Harry's well-being. How do I make Sally understand that I will not be a part of their marriage? Also, we all live in a country where polygamy is legal. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. He got married 4 months after breaking up with you? Him and his wife both sound emotionally stunted. You are absolutely right to cut them both off. A big thing about living in any sort of kink lifestyle, and yes, I include polyamory in that definition, is that consent and respect are the main tenets. You made it clear you do not consent to this sort of lifestyle and do not want to be a part of it. They are not respecting that decision. Your ex is a moron. Comment 2. Sounds like you are friends with him out of pity now. Block her. Send him a text saying you do not wish to keep him in your life anymore, that you wish him the best, but that it will have to be far away from you. He is not bringing you anything positive. Why are you friends with him other than it would hurt him not to be friends with me? Now, for the update. Thanks for all the comments on my last post. Here's what happened next. The dinner invitation from Sally was the last straw. I decided to confront Harry about the whole mess. I told him we needed to talk, and he agreed to meet me at a local park. The air was tense, and I could tell he was nervous about what I was going to say. I laid it out for him. I told Harry that his wife's persistence was crossing a line, and that I felt like I was being dragged into their marital issues. I wanted no part in it. Harry's face fell, and he started to apologize, saying he never meant for things to get this far. But then, he dropped a surprise that I never saw coming. Harry confessed that he had been lying to both Sally and me. He wasn't in a polygamous marriage at all. Sally had no idea he was still in contact with me, and had never suggested I join their marriage. He'd been using her as an excuse to keep me close, hoping I'd change my mind about being with him. I was floored. The man I thought I knew was a stranger to me now. I felt a mix of anger and betrayal. I had trusted him as a friend, and he'd been manipulating me all along. I told Harry that I couldn't have him in my life anymore. He tried to explain, but I wasn't having any of it. I walked away without looking back, cutting him off for good. After that confrontation, I blocked Harry's number and all his social media accounts. I thought that would be the end of it, but I was wrong. A couple of days later, Sally showed up at my workplace. She was in tears, holding a stack of printed text messages between Harry and me. Sally had found out about Harry's lies when she stumbled upon our messages on his phone. She was devastated and had come to me for the truth. I felt terrible for her. She'd been dragged into a situation she didn't deserve. I told her everything, and she thanked me for being honest with her. Sally decided she needed to take action and left, saying she had a lot to think about. The next day, I heard from a mutual friend that Sally had kicked Harry out of their house. She was done with his lies and deceit. It was a tough situation, but I felt a sense of relief that she was taking steps to look out for herself. Just when I thought things were settling down, another twist hit me. My boss called me into his office. He'd heard about the drama from other employees and was concerned about the workplace environment. I explained the situation, and thankfully, he was understanding. He asked me to keep my personal life separate from work, and to inform him if Sally or Harry tried to contact me again. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, and this whole ordeal with Harry and Sally was one I never expected. I'm just trying to move on and keep my head up. It's been a rough few days, but I'm looking forward to putting this all behind me.